Hey, what's up? Alright, I'm gonna be streaming some concept art. I have a couple different ideas I'm trying to work on, so one second. Yeah, I want to work on some character concepts for my fantasy comic. Well, actually, I haven't technically decided it's going to be a comic yet. I don't. Right now, I'm just working on the world building. Um, and like now doing some like character designs. I kind of want it to be kind of like an open world story. Like, I mean, in the sense that I don't want to just have like one like main plot with like a couple main characters. I kind of want to like showcase the world that I've designed. But like this is one character that I had in mind that I have not yet tried to draw. Basically one of many characters that I want to follow in whatever I end up whatever format this ends up taking. I mean, it probably will be a comic. I might do like a weekly like strip. Like, I didn't stream drawing last week. I was feeling a bit lazy. And uninspired. I'm probably still a bit out of practice. Oh, again, I'm noticing the thing that I tend to do, which is just like everything being weirdly tilted. I don't know why I do that. I gotta be more like conscious of what the fuck I'm doing. Now, this is like a knight, kind of like a knight character, or like special operations knight character. Um, Actually, I should say she's kind of trying to become one. Like, I don't have a lot of specifics down just yet, but I was brainstorming a little bit. Like, one thing I've been trying to do is is as much as possible just like brainstorm and like work on ideas as much as possible like at my job, because like it gets kind of boring. I mean, my job, it gets kind of boring. um, and it's something that I can do very much without like thinking. I'm like outside during the day, so I'm outside during the day, I'm by myself. It's like hours at a time driving. So I've been trying to use the opportunity to work on like ideas as much as possible during the day. Like, especially for this fantasy world, because there's just so many elements when you're building a fantasy world. So like at the very least, I try to get down some general ideas. People have tried to tell me before that I draw women too muscular. Come on, we don't need that kind of negativity here. Especially in like a fantasy story where this is not even like a human. But also, I feel like those people just haven't seen some of the women that like actually do bodybuilding as like a full-time thing. Like women can't be that. I'm like, they can be pretty buff, dude. Anybody's been paying any attention at all to the internet, you notice the muscle mommy trend. By the way, very good art reference. Very good reference. I'm making her arms way too long. That's what I said. I am out of practice. And also one thing that I've always had trouble with is like planning my drawings ahead of time. I either run out of room, make arms too long, or head too small. I'm not very good at like planning my drawings before I start getting into more details. But I do find it funny that if somebody tells you like women should not be that muscular, especially you're very obviously drawing a non-human character. It's like that same person tried to tell me, which I actually agree with. They told me to that, you know, if it's a non-human species, the sexual dimorphism does not at all have to be the same as it is in humans. I actually do agree with that though. But I'm like, why are you telling me not to make them muscular then? They aren't human anyway. Yeah, I'm definitely having issues with arms are too long. I really should try to like measure this out if I'm that out of practice. Like elbows should come about here. Like if that's her belly button, elbows should come around here, I believe. Unless that's a little bit low. And then I believe, I measure out myself, I believe your arms reach to about, your fingertips reach to like mid-thigh, I think. It's definitely been a very long time since I've like actually paid attention to those rules. Like I do obviously have, I do have one race of humanoids that do have very long arms, but this character is not one of them. Maybe they aren't as bad as I thought. Let's see, fingers like here. See, now her fingers look too short. Oh, maybe that's right. I don't know. Also, I will pretend like I know how to draw hands. Okay, just pretend these hands look like hands. And not like alien shit. Okay, we'll just, you know what? I'll just put in placeholders for now. Just get the proportions right. I like to do, the trick with hands is to do this kind of shape and then have like a triangle shape where the thumb, for the base of the thumb. But it should be like a little bit wider than the wrist. As I said, I'm not very good at drawing hands. And also these arms definitely still look too long. Yeah, I don't know. It's, even when I follow the guidelines, it still kind of ends up being too long. I mean, I feel like the arm looks like a proper length. I'm just having trouble when I get to the hands. Alright. Alright, for now she will not have hands. How about that? We'll come back to that. Otherwise, I feel like this looks not too bad. Head might afford to be a little bit bigger. We'll see. And legs. I do pretty well with legs until I get to the knees. There we go. I think that's halfway decent. Oh, although if you'll notice, I am drifting a little bit. Like I said before. Everything leaning left. Yeah, when my friend pointed that out to me, I was like, holy crap, I cannot believe I've never noticed that I do that before. I wonder if it's the way I hold my pencil. Because I remember when I was like younger, I was always told I held my pencil incorrectly. And I don't know if I ever actually fixed it. I think I tried a couple times, but you know, it's very hard to adjust your habits. Well, at least digitally you can always fix that. And feet. Feet. I have trouble with feet too. I mean, I guess that's not that. I guess that doesn't matter that much. Rob Liefeld couldn't draw feet, and he still was a very successful comic artist. So just strive to be better at drawing feet than Rob Liefeld. That's a good goal. That's a good goal. Yeah, she definitely has the Liefeld feet right now. We'll come back to that as well. Feet and hands. Okay, does her head need to be bigger? Her legs might be a little too long. Either that or her legs are the right length, and actually my hands are not actually a problem. Maybe? Let's try the hands. Yeah, they're kind of more like a trapezoid, actually. I said it was like a rectangle. It's more like a trapezoid for the hands. They get wider as they go down. And then you have this little triangle for the base of the thumb. I'm going to zoom out. No. Arms are definitely a little too long still. I think it's the wrist. It's the transition with the wrist. Like once I get to the wrist of my own arm. So fingers should come feel like fingers should come to like right here. It's like upper thigh. I just have the problem running out of space, I think. Oh, but that's I said the fingers, not the hands. I have no idea. I always get stumped. Maybe that's the solution. She'll have stumps. Stupid joke, but as I said, I can come back to the hands later. Assuming like all the proportions are otherwise correct. Actually, I think I know what I did wrong here. I'm just making the forearm too long. Like that's the wrist, that's the hand, that's the fingers. You can also group fingers together, which looks better for female characters. You don't want their hands to be too big. It's kind of a stylistic trick. It definitely still looks kind of alien. I think the thumb is too low. Some should start higher up. I mean, it's not completely awful. Might just have to do. And I think it came up like a little bit past where I said is alright. But I'll have to zoom out and see. Oh, also this arm is longer than the other one, so I gotta redraw that. So I have noticed that actually, I was gonna say I have noticed my drawing streams aren't getting as many viewers, but considering I've only actually had one so far that actually ended up with, that ended up saving, like in recording, and actually ended up with audio. We'll have to see. I know I'm gonna do it regardless, because I want it to take off, but also it just helps me to stay motivated to draw. Like if I plan to stream drawing, I'm much more likely to actually commit to drawing. Like, and as I said, even if I don't necessarily feel motivated. What is wrong with this picture? Yeah, I'm definitely getting the lean factor still. I'm really not sure why I do that. That would be great to know. Yeah, it definitely looks like shit. Well, I think the arms are not too bad. We'll just go from there. Alright, I'm gonna save this real quick. This is not the only thing I'm planning to work on. I actually... Oh, I realized I made a separate folder for environments, but I have them all in the same folder actually by race. I'm trying to think if I had a separate folder for characters or not. It's not that, it doesn't matter that much. I'll just save it under Drekor for now. That's what the race is called that she belongs to. Have not decided on a name for her yet, so I'll just say main female character 01. You can always rename it later. Alright, so what we're probably gonna do is make a different layer to add more detail. I'm trying to be better at utilizing layers in a way that helps me, because like, I mean, what's the point in drawing digitally if you don't use layers? I mean, I used to just kind of do a general sketch, do a bit, like then do like final lines, and then do color on separate layers. But I think I'm gonna try to like use layers better, especially because I have trouble like getting clean lines. I'm very sketchy when I'm like starting to draw, as you can see. But, like, once I get a solid base down, I can kind of go from there. So she's gonna be wearing armor. So I might do a layer with just the armor and clothing, and then we'll see. I don't know. I'm kind of figuring out as I go. Oh, actually, we are gonna do one thing, because this is still very tilted. I don't know what the fuck. I don't know why I do that. At least digitally I can fix it. Please don't. Alright, rotate. So I'm gonna rotate it, and then I can fix anything that needs to be fixed. Because like obviously if it's straight up and down, it's still not gonna be quite right. Yeah, see, this leg is now a little bit longer. Actually, the arms are not too bad. I think one thing I was forgetting when I was trying to get the arms right is that I can literally just, yay, digital drawing. I can literally just fucking inch that up a little bit. There we go. Because I just kept making this part of the forearm too long. Like, it's easy to fix, just move everything up. Yeah, the legs are definitely fucked up now, so we're gonna adjust that. I'm gonna turn the opacity back up on this layer now that I'm still working on it. And I'm gonna fix her foot too, because her foot is fucked up. Actually, this angle of her leg is a bit fucked up as well. I've always had issues, as I said, with like you have the upper leg and the lower leg, and making it make sense. Although, you know what I should have done? No, that's fine. I was gonna say I should have figured out where. I mean, I probably should figure out where the bottom of her foot's gotta go. Is that right? No, it's like a little lower probably. Well, you know, I mean, people are supposed to be a certain number of heads tall. Although I think I decided her head was a bit small, so maybe I'll just. Man, I think she needs leg day. I don't know why I'm drawing her legs so skinny. She's supposed to be a freaking warrior, man. Elite Knight squad. Buff up those legs. Elite warriors do not skip leg day. No, that's too big. I told you I was out of practice. Like, parts of this might look good, but I'm gonna definitely retain my fundamentals of like torso and abdomen region. Arms and legs are hard for me. Torsos are easy. Arms and legs are hard. That looks like a little bit better. I also need to draw like more poses. I've been doing like gesture drawing sketches, from like reference photos. There's a really good site I've been using that has like a good mix of models. Like you can kind of select what you want, like age range, clothing, no clothing, how long you want each. Like especially for gesture drawing, it's important like how long each photo is on there. So if you want to just do like 30 seconds because you're trying to capture gesture. And I still suck at drawing feet. But yeah, I mean it's like I'm all right drawing poses when I do it from reference. Well, I think part of the problem is like just thinking of a pose is hard for me. Like if I can figure out what pose they should be in, it might not be so bad. But as I said, I can't draw feet for shit. Well, one thing I'm forgetting is those like ankle bones that you have. This one on the inside is lower, I think, right? Let me check my own foot. Yeah, the one on the inside is lower. Yeah, calf is still fucked up. I think that's like the right length. But yeah, you get this area. I mean, it's the same thing with the calf. This part of the calf is lower than this part. This part is more like that and drops off, and this part is more like out, I think. I mean, I will say don't, like, I'm not confident enough. I mean, I took figure drawing in college. Like that's what I mean, well, I took it much younger age than that, but I mean, that's what I specialized in college was drawing. And I did a lot of figure drawing. But don't take my word for like don't like learn from me. It's been a very long time since I drew from like any live models. I would love to do that again. Like there is no better practice. There is no better way to learn to draw people than figure drawing classes. Like it is 100% necessary. I mean, I do a lot when I'm drawing from my imagination. I do a lot from like a weird combination of memory and yeah, it's muscle memory. But like still kind of shitty. I just said I hate drawing legs. I actually hate drawing legs more than I hate drawing arms. I can at least make arms look like halfway decent. Legs I have trouble with in general. Like, I don't know, does it look like a freaking Barbie doll or something with the way that the legs are like stilted and stiff? Like, I don't know. I mean, I guess my hope is that, I mean, I'm just doing this because I enjoy drawing, but my hope is that anyone, yeah, not because I'm like a pro or anything. My hope is just that anyone drawing this, it helps them get rid of like their, if they have like an imposter syndrome, like, everybody has something they suck at drawing. I mean, not everybody, but. Alright, now I'm just rambling. Alright, let me fix this head. And it's like, it's not too bad, but I think it is like a little bit small. I think just a little bit. I know that because the shoulders are supposed to be 3 heads wide. And even though they're a bit bulkier than normal on her, but still. There we go. I do think it is actually wider than 3 heads wide if you're actually like, if you've got super buff shoulders. I think that's like an average thing, that is 3 heads wide, because I've always like tried to do it and I've always drawn more muscular characters. I'm like, it never looks right being exactly 3 heads wide. I think it's 3 heads wide to like here ish. Actually, maybe that is 3 heads wide. Let me see. Oh no, not including the ears. So like that. That. Yeah, okay, it's about 3 heads wide still. A little bit more, a little bit more. It looks right to me. Aside from the shitty ass legs. I think it's like not even necessarily that they're super wrong, it's just that they're very stiff. I mean, I know they're not exactly right either, but I'm just saying I think it's less that they're wrong and it's more just that they're very stiff. It's just more proof that I gotta do more gesture drawing. And also just stop drawing like static poses like this. I mean, it helps me when I'm doing like a concept, but I mean, it should definitely be part of the character concept process, is drawing them in like poses. So that's how you get like personality, right? Yeah, this looks like a freaking club foot. Alright, I'm just not gonna draw the feet right now. Alright, let me work on the armor. I mean, actually, I would love to work on like her face. Alright, I'm actually gonna work on her face. Let me zoom in here. The Jakor are by far the race I've like developed the most, and the most like different kinds of people. Like the most like variety. I actually can't remember if they actually are supposed to have pointy ears though. It's been a very long time, but it looks right. I know I had like some variety of facial features. Like they all have horns, but some of them have these kind of noses. You know, like skeletal kind of noses. And some of them have normal noses. I probably do want to give her like a more normal nose, just if she's like, maybe it'd be like a little bit more relatable. But I don't know, man. We got like Lae'zel and shit, who's like everyone loves, and she's got a weird non-nose. Yeah, I don't really have like a ton of humanoid, like very humanoid races. Like actually, I'm kind of the idea that humans are, at the very least, like endangered. There are humans, but they aren't like widespread like they used to be. Okay, I do want her to have horns. They are smaller on females. I think I am sticking with this general shape for horns for Aldricor. Like, they're all this general shape. Some bigger, some smaller. Well, I mean, like, some of the males, they've got like these really giant like ones. Not like all of them, but yeah, they come off the head like that. Very crappy little drawing, but yeah. Oh man, it feels like I've been streaming a lot longer than I have. It's only been not even 40 minutes. Waiting for those viewers to roll in. But I'm having fun. Like, as much as I've been complaining about stuff not looking right, I'm actually pretty happy with most of the anatomy on this. Considering considering that I consider myself still very out of practice. I mean, honestly, at a certain point, once you've been drawing long enough, it does kind of stay in your system, stay in your muscle memory. I wouldn't think you would lose it unless you just go like, I don't know, 10 years without picking up a pencil or something, like ever. Even if you just do like a little sketch every now and again, you kind of hold on to it. Or, you know, at the very least, you pick it up again and you just have to brush off the rust. Whatever, you know, they say. Kick off the rust. It's not too bad. Alright, I'm trying to decide what to do with her nose. Maybe just one of these. I mean, I want her to be very, very clearly a female. Even if she is quite a bit buffer. I always say I suck at drawing female faces. But this one's not too terrible. She might have like a little bit much in the jaw department though. Yeah, sometimes they end up looking a bit masculine. But we can always refine that. Like just bring in the jawline a little bit. Soften it a little bit. And the neck should be smaller. But I don't know, she is pretty buff, so that actually would affect her neck somewhat. Alright, I do want her to have hair. Although I kinda wanna, I wanna do like a helmet. But I might do that like as like a layer thing. That's like the one fun thing to do in like Photoshop or any like drawing program, is to have like layers where if you turn, depending on if you turn them off or on, you can like put on clothes, put on armor, take off helmet. Like you have like layers. And you don't have to like do a completely new drawing for like every variety of outfit or whatever that they have. And these kind of look like, these look like a little bit like cornrows, which is not what I was trying to do, but it kind of works. Maybe. Maybe. It is kind of difficult to figure out with the horns. That's kind of cool. These like almost like tendrils of hair, which I feel like works pretty well with this race. I don't know, just experimenting. I can't say I'm like super good at drawing hair, but it's fun to try to figure out how to put hair on a horned character. If you don't just want like a normal haircut and then just have like horns sticking up out of it, you want it to look like natural, right? I feel like a lot of times you just have characters where the horns are just coming out of the hair. But it's like, would they actually look like that if you actually had horns? I don't know. And I don't know, her jaw looks still kind of messed up. Hello. Oh, Master Pokemon. Is that how you say that? Zero, Master Pokemon Zero. How are you doing today? Just drawing character concepts. I'm doing well, thank you. Alright, I think I still have to fix her jawline. It's still kind of masculine. I did say I suck at drawing female faces. I think her facial features look okay, but definitely need to fix the jaw. I don't know, I always have trouble with that. I mean, it might partly be these like little tendril spike things. I don't know if it's hard to do a soft jawline with that. Oh, that's good. Thank you. Yeah, I don't know. I just internalize a lot of what I'm doing. I'm glad if you think it looks good. I think our facial features are okay. I'm just not as good at drawing female faces. Alright, she should have, I think she can have eyebrows, right? Yeah, it's okay. Alright, I want to start drawing in some armor. Oh, you know what it is? I think maybe her jaw is like a little bit long. I'm gonna bring this up a little bit. I think that's what it is. It's kind of long. Alright, I gotta tweak this now. Oh, that's definitely better. Definitely better. Alright. I'm gonna finish our hair later. Let me get some armor in here. Should I do a different? I'm gonna do another layer. Alright. Breastplate. Not doing boob armor, thank you. Try to get realistic, dope ass plate armor on her. Not that. Yeah, that's one thing I definitely need to practice more is armor. Especially doing a fantasy series. Armor and weapons are very important to know how to draw. Although I follow like a fair number of like people who know about like actual realistic armor. You're already good at something while I'm not even good at drawing, even though I love concept art. Hey, I mean, yeah, you got to start somewhere. I mean, I feel like I mean, I've been drawing characters like my whole life. But I always make the mistake of comparing myself to the people that do it like professionally. I want to do it professionally. I had a comic I was working on. Like this one's like a fantasy comic, but the comic I was working on before was a like more of like a superhero genre, but it followed supervillains. Well, really, they were like bank robbers turned like mercenaries. I want to start working on it again. It's just right now I have a full-time job, and I mean, I was doing everything myself. I was doing all the writing, all the dialogue, all the panel drafting, page layout, drawing, penciling. I mean, like penciling, inking, coloring, everything. Like I only had like the sense to get somebody else to do my like lettering. Like after I had already basically done it myself, and I like hand lettered, and I was like, this looks like crap. So I had somebody like basically go over the entire comic and just like type everything up for me. But like other than that, I was doing everything myself. I definitely don't have the time with like a full-time job. I mean, I really want to like hire somebody to do that one. And then I can kind of work on this one as just like a more casual like weekly strip maybe. As I was saying earlier, like this is like a fantasy world that I'm working on. And I'm just now getting to the point where I'm kind of like coming up with characters that maybe will follow. But like I don't have an idea for like one main plot. I really want to just like showcase it as a world. So like you kind of jump around the world like following different characters doing different stuff. But yeah, it is kind of an issue of like, okay, what exactly is the format going to be? And how do you do like short stories in a comic form from like week to week? I guess you can do like snapshots, and like if I have a character like this that's like that kind of is a main character, you can kind of come back to them every so often and see what they're up to. But it is still like an issue of plot, so actually I want to do something different with the next part of this. I want to do a yeah, this is me trying to get better at drawing armor. I want to do one of these like neck guard kind of things. I love creating stories and coming up with character ideas. I'm just not good at drawing, which makes it difficult to follow this concept art part, but at least I'm good at writing concept art such as character details, characteristics, stories, etc. Yeah, I mean, I feel very much the same way. Like, I mean, I mainly like I've been drawing since I was a little kid, but it's mainly been because I want to draw what I think of. So I would still mainly consider myself a writer. Like I only really draw because, Yeah, so I can draw my ideas. I mean, I have drawn other stuff. Like, I mean, I went to art school. I have drawn stuff not for the purpose of stories, but that is my main motivation. And I have always felt like, even though I like, so I do consider myself a good artist. The problem is I don't consider myself good enough to do like a professional like comic book, because I've tried it. I just need a lot more practice. And I made the mistake of not using reference when I was doing it. So all my poses and anatomy looked like shit. Which is like, the thing is, like, I literally went to school and I specialized in figure drawing. So like, I know I can draw anatomy, but when you're drawing them in poses and you're not using reference and you're drawing them in little panels, it ends up looking like shit. So I already tried to draw and it was a disaster. I thought of something and it came out almost complete opposite. I'm not good at copying, so I think it's better than not being able to even draw a stick figure. Definitely start with copying. You have to learn. The thing is with drawing, I think the number one thing is to forget what you're drawing. Like, draw what you see. It is one thing that our brains are not naturally good at. Like, we want to draw, like, the way that our brains work, we always have an idea of what something looks like. So when we're drawing, it's very hard to forget that. But you have to forget what you think something looks like. And you just have to, like, literally just look at the line and the shape. Don't think about what it is. Like, that's why, like, earlier I was saying, like, nothing is better, at least if you want to draw people, nothing is better than a figure drawing class. Especially because you're looking at a naked person. And, like, it can be awkward if you're not used to that. But the trick to it not being awkward is to forget that you're drawing a naked person. Like, you're just looking at form and shape. You know, you're not looking at, like, tits, or you're not looking at a dick and balls. I mean, you're not going to be drawing that. Really, you're not going to be drawing that anyway. You're going to be mainly focusing on the muscle groups. Well, my point is you have to forget you're looking at what you're looking at. And you just have to look at light and form and shape. So that's my tip for drawing. And I mean, even people who've been drawing years still have a problem. Like, I still draw what I think. Like, even if I'm drawing from reference, I still sometimes forget and just draw what I think it's supposed to look like. But I mean, I've been good at copying way longer than I've been even like halfway decent at drawing from my imagination. And like, obviously I still consider myself to have a long way to go on drawing without reference. But like, copying something, easy. But I mean, I got like drawing books when I was a kid, and I would just like copy everything out of there. And I did that constantly. And probably one of the reasons I haven't improved as much is because, like, I've just been spending my time drawing everything from my head. But it's like, you have to look at what something actually looks like. Because if you, I mean, yeah, even like master artists, they still draw from reference. Because like, your imagination is never going to be as reliable as looking at the actual thing. Like, right now I'm drawing this completely from my head and realizing I still suck at drawing legs. I don't know if it's so much that the anatomy is actually wrong, because I know what it's supposed to be for the most part, but they look very stiff. And I gave up on trying to draw her feet for now. And also drew her hands with as little line as possible. Although that actually is the way you're kind of supposed to draw hands, is you kind of just focus on the, well, I mean, what I did is I did the basic shape. Like you have like a, it's kind of like a trapezoid. And then like, okay, like if you want to draw a hand, the trick is to look at it as a trapezoid or a rectangle. This is kind of more of a rectangle. It should be a little more of a trapezoid. It should be wider at the fingers a little bit. And then a triangle for the base of the thumb. That's the basic shape. But the trick is, aside from drawing the basic shape here, the trick is to break it, is to do like the most simple things as possible. Because the problem I would always end up with is like the fingers would be too long or they'd be a weird shape. But like that's why, especially drawing like a female, I didn't want her to have like giant hands or giant like big thick fingers. So it's kind of like a little bit abstract. Like you kind of combine some of the shapes. Like instead of drawing every individual finger, you kind of draw these middle two as like a block. Then it's like a little bit more streamlined. That was the trick I learned. That was a couple of the tricks I learned for drawing hands. Okay, I realized I forgot I was trying to draw armor. And I just went over my same lines again. Okay, what is this gonna look like? Well, you have the breastplate, and then you have... I'm gonna separate for like where the ribs would be. I mean, I don't know if this is how actual armor should work. As I said, I'm not an expert. There's one thing I need to practice, and again, that means I should really be drawing from like pictures of photos of actual armor. So that's really how you learn to draw something. But instead, I'm not following my own advice and I'm just making it up. That's okay. I can always do that another time. Alright, now what I'm thinking for this is a belt. And then I actually kind of want to do like a, kind of like a skirt, right? Is that what, I mean, you know how you have these. An easy way I'd seen to draw hands would be draw your own hand as model. Yeah, definitely like, I mean, it is just practice. So I mean, you always have your own hands. Like your own hands are always there. I mean, that's true for like a lot of things. If you can draw yourself, like you never have to look up a photo if your hands are like literally always right in front of your face. You don't need your phone. You don't need Google. Yeah, that's really good advice. I've drawn my hands a lot. I literally just filled like 10 pages of sketchbook pages with just my hands in different positions. But again, like for me, that doesn't mean I can actually draw hands on a character, because drawing from something and making it up is not the same. I mean, I was definitely looking at my, well, not when I was drawing her hands, but when I was trying to get the arm, like I kept making her arms too long, and I was actually kind of looking at like my own forearms to kind of like figure out like where the transitions are supposed to be from like the muscular part of the forearm to like the wrist down into the hands. Like I was referencing my own body. Like, you got to use what you have for sure. All right, now this is like a metal skirt, but it should be I think these things normally do have some separation. Cuz she needs to be able to move. Um Actually, I think it probably is on the side, right? I'm not sure. This is again the place where the time where I should be looking at a photo. But I don't feel like it. I mean, I know they have these things. I play I play Guild Wars 2 and I do that on stream. And a lot of like the heavy armor, the plate armor has like these kind of skirts. And there's like a dip up in the middle there. It's probably higher than that though. All right, belt. I want a belt here. Oh, and I still gotta figure out, I want to draw a helmet. Need some help with ideas. If you need me, I can help, as I want to see a little bit about what creating a character is like. That's okay. I mean, I'm good with like ideas, but yeah, if you want like some idea on what creating a character is like, I can definitely do that. Like, so for her character, it started with the fact that I wanted to, as I said, it's a whole fantasy world. I have like a dozen fantasy races that I've made up. Some of them are kind of based on pre-existing things like dwarves. Some of them are very much their own thing. Like this race is kind of its own thing. I mean, they kind of have the demonic kind of look, but they're very much their own thing. One sec. I'll be right back. It's okay. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. My wife is trying to recreate the Jollibee spaghetti. It's really good. I actually think hers might be a little bit better. She's making the sauce. I think it might be a little bit better. The one at Jollibee's is really really good, but it's very very sweet. Anyway, what I was saying was, oh yeah. So anyway, it's a big fantasy world, dozen fantasy races. So I really didn't want to just land on like a couple main characters and one main plot line. Like I kind of want to showcase a lot of different things happening like all over the world. So I was like, I gotta start somewhere, right? Like, you're still gonna have to make some characters. So I was like, okay, this race is called the Drakor. They just happen to be the one that I've like developed the most about their culture, the most about like the different kinds of, like warriors and mages and stuff like that. I know I wanted a female character. So yeah, so like I just decided on like a couple characters to follow. Like I have her. She's very much like, I mean, at the beginning all I knew was that I wanted her to be more of a physical fighter, like using weapons and armor. I did want like a little bit more focus on like tactics. and then I want it to be her, and then like a wizard, because this race has very much like warrior kind of. They have very good like military, and they have very good like weapons and armor and stuff like that. But then they also have like very good spellcasters. Yeah, she's probably gonna be. She's probably gonna be a sword, mainly using a sword. I haven't decided. I mean, probably sword and board, honestly, as like her main weapons. But maybe a smaller shield, because I want her to be very like mobile and tactical. And actually, like I said, I want her to be kind of like she's trying to. This is where I started getting a little bit more in depth with her character. Like I kind of wanted her to be going through like the test or trials to become like part of the special forces. Um I think I actually had it so I want her to like come up short, like maybe she doesn't pass the test, but they give her the opportunity to like go on like a go on like a mission or quest or something, and then they see how she does, and when she comes back it's like proving herself. But it's but yeah, because she wants to be special forces, like I actually want her to be a little bit stealthy. I don't want her to just be like the warrior that just like charges in and just like starts smacking shit. Like I kind of want her to be like a mix of like she's mainly a knight, but I want some kind of more rogue like elements to her. Which is why I'm trying to keep like, even though it is plate armor, I'm trying to keep it like a little bit more close fitting. Maybe that's the word. Like actually I might want to rethink this skirt because it might limit her mobility too much. Like she's not going to be able to like move her legs a lot. And I want her to be able to do like rolls and stuff. Like think about like Dark Souls, how they do like the fucking the roll everywhere. Roly poly, that's what they call it, right? Yeah, I want her to do that kind of shit. So you're asking, am I gonna try to put a medieval double wrap belt on it? I don't know what that is, but it sounds like probably not. I mean, as I said, I'm rethinking the skirt because she's not gonna be able to move her legs like this, unless, actually, I know what to do. You have it be two separate pieces, so then she can actually like move her legs apart. Yeah, there we go. Like this piece can go forward, that piece can go back, because they're not connected. I mean, this is again coming from somebody who has no, like, who doesn't have a whole lot of understanding of how armor works. Like, I have a little bit of understanding because I do follow some people like, actually, I think I've been watching more of his videos on weaponry than armor. I don't know if it was him or somebody else, but I like this guy called Scalagrim on YouTube. Okay, I'm gonna look this up, yeah. I'll look it up. A medieval double wrap belt. Okay, I'm gonna look it up. Here it is. Oh! Okay, yeah, no, that definitely, yeah, thank you for that. That definitely makes sense for her character. Yeah, even like especially as like a more like mobile fighter, right? All right, I'm gonna do that. One of the things I was actually thinking about today is the fact that like this race gets an early advantage in like their building their civilization and military and stuff because they are near well, they originated from underground, but they very early on came out of underground, but they had access to like uh basically like a magical metal that was in the underground. Like, I don't want to give too much away about like why it, like the origin of magic or like how, or like where it came, or like yeah, like why this is like a magical material. But yeah, I was working on like the idea of like legendary kinds of materials. Um, so yeah, they use like a metal which is very good for like if you want to enchant like a weapon or armor with some sort of spell or ability or effect. Like it channels magic really well. So they got kind of like a advantage. And then their like main rival race, who I was actually drawing on a previous stream, I was concepting them. I haven't actually worked on them as much. Um, but they got their asses kicked. There was like, cause like so they're called the Rhizarks, and they hate the Dracor, but they like hate magic. But one of the reasons for that is cause of this early dispute. It was a dispute over like they were jealous because they thought that their god was favoring the Dracor, and they were like, why the hell? Anyway, they got their asses beat. They tried to come back home, and their god was like, you don't get to come back because you didn't trust me. And then they kind of diverged from this. Like they were actually not the Rhizarks at that time. They ended up splitting off into like two races, like the race that stayed loyal to this god, and the race that became the Rhizarks, who basically rejected their god, and then now they hate magic, because their god is basically the god of magic, and they fucking hate her now. Well, they don't hate her. They hate magic. I'm not sure how much like I want like the current peoples to actually remember about what happened way back then, because you know what, like we know what happens when it's been like hundreds and hundreds of, I mean, or even like thousands of years since something happens. Like it definitely remains in legend when it is something like super important to their culture like that. So that's why I said they definitely know that they hate magic. I mean, probably something in the legend would retain about their god. About, well, in their from their perspective, their god betrayed them. Like, is that the reality of the situation? Not so much. But that's how they think of it. But anyway, they hate the Rhizark. I mean, they hate the Dracor, which is what this lady is. She's a Dracor. So as I was saying, like I want her traveling party to be her, a wizard, and then a merchant of one of the races that's allied with the Dracor, which are, I mean, they have some similarities to like goblins and like trolls a little bit. But yeah, a merchant from them, and then I have an idea of like a big warrior lady who's trying to avenge like her husband's death and ends up joining them. And she's of a race called the Kelmig, which are like big ass like ogre like things. I mean, they don't look like ogres. I mean, actually on one of my previous streams I was trying to come up with a better concept for them. Like previously I had done, actually if you want to see it, I'll show you. This is the one, okay, this was the newer one. I had the male, is the female also on this one? So this was, because I was like, I had a concept that I really liked, but it wasn't necessarily what I wanted them to look like. I was taking inspiration from bovine like animals, but my original concept I felt was too cow-like. So this is like the more current like the newer incarnation, the newer concept. Oh, for the belt. Idea suggestion, try making it a little higher in like an X. One belt running diagonally from her belly button to her waist, and the other passing a little over the first and stopping over the thigh. Okay. Wait, let me show you really quick. I just want to show you like kind of one of my things with, because this was like a good example of like, I had a concept that I liked a lot, but it wasn't quite what I had envisioned. So let me see if I can find that one. Yeah, see, they were much more cow-like. And I was like, it was cool, but it was too cow-like. So I did another one. Yeah, like actually I really liked it a lot, but it was just like too bovine. Like, but like that's the thing. Just because you like a concept, like just because you love a concept, it doesn't mean it's what it needs to be. But I actually might add some of these horns back in because I forgot about these like tusk horn things. And actually, I think the horn is stronger on this piece than the newer one. But anyway. Alright, I'm going to try to do this thing with the belt. Alright, we're going to make I'm going to make a new layer. Because I don't feel like trying to draw over that. Or erase. I don't want to erase it necessarily, so I'm going to make a new layer to do it. Like, that's one thing I said I need to, I'm trying to utilize my layers better. Because, like, what's the point in drawing digitally if you don't make use of everything? A little higher like an X. Yeah, they definitely had some buffalo inspiration. For sure. Maybe like a water buffalo? Is that right? Yeah, probably like a water buffalo. But yeah, I mean, after now that I looked at those old concepts again, I'm like, damn it, now I actually need to do a third concept that successfully incorporates the successful parts of the first concept and the second concept. So sometimes that's what you gotta do. Kind of like this? Is that what you were thinking? I mean, that makes sense if her if her sword is here, right? Is that? Yeah, it would be on her left, right? If she's right-handed, right? It would be on this side. If that's how you draw a sheath. And again, I'm not good at drawing weapons either. But I'm kind of thinking like a, what is that, like a single-bladed sword? I definitely like these studs that were on the belt I was looking at. But yeah, as a writer, I've always been somebody who's like, I've struggled a little bit with plot because I always start with character, or in this case, I started with the world. Like the world of this was like my character, and then now I'm working on actual characters, and I still don't really have much of an idea of the plot. But yeah. Okay, I'm gonna bring the opacity of this back up. And then, yeah, I will erase this. I did like the other one better. See, I should have done this belt on a separate layer because I'm gonna erase it. Yeah, thank you for the suggestion. That I do feel like that looks a lot better. And makes more like utility sense too. Also, it'll probably be, let me see, let me do this, make these pieces, and then I'm gonna add like an ab plate, and maybe it'll go under this one. Probably, okay, I need to make sure to make separate pieces. She's not gonna be able to move. Another way would be like the first one a little above the belly button, second is a little above the hand. Doesn't need to be so low, more or less, between the thigh and waist. Okay. Okay, I want to make this banded as well. I don't know if that makes sense, but it might add some mobility if it can like retract. Alright, let me see what that looks like on top of this. Okay, it doesn't need to be so low, more or less between the thigh and waist. Okay. Okay. I really want to redraw the whole thing. I'm just gonna take this part. I do gotta redraw that part. Yeah, it's definitely nice getting some feedback. My previous drawing streams, I only got like a couple viewers, and like nobody said anything. Like, I'm gonna keep doing them regardless, because it gives me motivation to actually draw when I don't want to draw. It's like, I've not basically been drawing at all for like months, and then when I started streaming, it really gave me motivation and inspiration, and like I actually started drawing. So yeah, now I'm just hoping it picks up. I mean, this is only like probably like my third or fourth drawing stream, so it's like to be expected that. Yeah, my gaming ones have been a lot more popular, but man, it's so much easier drawing this crap when I have separate layers. Like, no wonder I always struggled with drawing armor and clothing and stuff, because I try to draw everything on the same fucking layer. This is so much better. It just gets too complicated. Oh yeah, I'm definitely liking this so far. Hell yeah. Alright, I think I'm not gonna give her a shield, because I wanna... Well, no, I'm gonna give her a small shield. I'm gonna give her like a round shield, maybe. I don't necessarily have to draw that though. Like, if anything, it would be on her back, probably, right? I don't know. Yeah, I don't really know what to do with her crotch. Oh, why don't I just give her pants instead of trying to do like a freaking cod piece or something? She doesn't need when she has this guard anyway, right? Just give her like pants and then put on. I know like in people who are actual armor, they have clothes underneath. Try placing the shield as over shoulder pad or something at chest height. Okay. Okay. If I do it, it's probably gonna be like one of the last things I draw though, because she's still missing a lot of armor. Alright, yeah, so she's just gonna have pants. I mean, it makes sense because she's supposed to be very like mobile. So I'm not gonna try to give her like, you know, like full plate or whatever. Although it might be nice if there's some chainmail or something. I mean, it's honestly not something I've thought a whole lot about in terms of like what kind of armor they have. I know they have plate armor, but you know, it being a fantasy setting. Okay, like she definitely needs... Well, actually, I was gonna say she definitely needs like greaves, but it actually might, if I want her to be super mobile, it might make more sense for her to have like boots and just have like some... I mean, yeah, she could still have greaves, like she could still have armor on her calves, but maybe the actual like foot part of it is just like a boot, because it would give her more mobility. Man, this is cool. I don't feel like normally I think about utility this much when I'm doing armor. So that's definitely the way to do it. Because normally when I'm drawing armor, I don't feel like it looks that good, and it's probably because I'm just trying to draw something that looks cool, but I'm not thinking about function. And now I'm actually thinking about function, and I feel like it literally looks better because of that. Actually, I'm gonna invert this. It probably makes more sense for the outside to be, yeah, because that's not covering anything. All right, it should be the other way. It should be the other way. Because you need to like guard the sides of her, like her shins. Yeah, like that. Yeah, guard the outside of her leg. Like nobody's gonna stab her in the front of her foot, like or in the front of her shin. It's gonna be like, if anything, it's gonna be like a swing from the side. All right, so. All right, I do just want to give her like boots under this. And again, I'm crappy at drawing feet. Although it is easier to draw boots than it is to draw feet. Like bare feet. Oh, I am forgetting something though. Ankle. Like she's still gonna have ankle bones, right? That's what I was trying to incorporate before when I was trying to draw the feet, but it wasn't helping a whole lot. Yeah, there we go. I made this part like a little bit narrow actually. That's part of why it looks a little awkward. Because I was coming in too much on the armor. It should just be out. There we go. Alright, yeah, so ankle bone. Ankle bone. I mean, they're still kind of Liefeld feet, but that's what I was joking before. I'm like, man, I can't draw feet, but I guess it doesn't matter because Rob Liefeld couldn't draw feet for shit, and he still had a successful comic career. So if the goal is just to be better at drawing feet than Rob Liefeld, then like that's cool. You don't have to be amazing at drawing feet. Just draw them better than Rob Liefeld. Although I feel like I'm at the stage where my character's feet just look like Liefeld feet. Like they very much look like the way Liefeld draws feet. Whatever. Always room for improvement. Alright, I'm gonna give her... Let me think. I might do gloves, like leather gloves. She's not gonna have like fully armored hands because she's not gonna have maneuverability. Look for Knights Templar Cuirass. Yeah. That sounds right. That sounds right. Cuirass. How do you... I've always said cuirass, but that's not right, is it? Isn't it like cuirass or something? Man, you queer ass. Alright. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. You read my mind. Yeah, that very much is what she has. Actually, this is great. This is great because I do this stupid ab plate and it's not realistic. This is what I wanted, but I didn't know how to draw it. Like it's just one piece. It's just like this one freaking with the line in the middle. Um, Although actually just for like style, I do like these lines here because it could be kind of like pointed on the front. I know that like the one thing I do know about armor, which is why people always criticize boob plate, is that like you don't want any indentation. Like you don't want anything concave. It's got to all be convex because you need to deflect off the blows. If you have concave, the sword gets stuck in that shit and breaks. But yeah, I think this works because it would just be like out. It would be like a polygonal point in the front as opposed to just being like rounded like this one. I don't know. It's just like a stylistic choice mainly. Alright, I do want to do like maybe upper arm plates of some kind. But I'm going to give her gloves. So she's got a lot of dexterity still in her hands and arms and fingers. Maybe she's the kind of person who can even do like some lock picking or something. I definitely want her to have some like stealthy kind of rogue-like skills. I think that'd be cool. Alright, I'm gonna give her like just some like tricep plates, kind of. I guess it doesn't have to be on the inside, but something like that maybe. And then maybe she just has like chainmail on her arm or something. Yeah, like I know like outside, all the outside edges should have protection. Mostly. Although you wouldn't really want to get stabbed in the bicep. That would suck. That's probably like the worst part of the arm to get stabbed in. Right? So I'm the type of person who definitely doesn't like necessarily mind sexy armor. Like that's not realistic. But it's definitely way more fucking badass if a woman is wearing like full plate. A woman wearing full plate armor is way more sexy than a woman wearing sexy armor. Okay, I should probably draw her hand over top of this. See, this is the other thing that ends up happening in my drawings is I have things overlapping in a way that does not look good. It is kind of hard to. What layer is that? So I didn't name my layers. Oh no, which layer is which? Okay. Layer 3, right? Yeah. Yeah, so you don't need to draw like every individual finger. That's my advice for drawing hands, especially female hands. You don't have to draw every goddamn finger. It'll just look bulky and yeah, it just looks more streamlined if you do it like that. It just looks nicer, more elegant. Hell yeah. This is actually shaping together really nicely. And thank you for your advice. It definitely helped me to think it through from like a utility standpoint, which I think also made it look better. So okay, I'm gonna finish doing her hair. I actually, it's cool because like I wasn't actually, this is not what I was trying to do with her hair, but I like this kind of like cornrows looking thing at the top part. I think it complements her horns nicely. Yo, I gotta draw like the wizard guy too. Mage and warrior, the freaking like classic combination of characters. The classic team. Warrior and wizard. Yeah, this looks dope. I'm happy with this. Aside from the Liefeld feat, I'm happy with this. Like, even the legs don't look bad. It's just the damn feet. I am kind of getting vibes of my other character in my other comic, though. I have a character in my other comic called Silent Blade. I was definitely thinking of her a little bit when I was drawing this. Although, like, their fighting style comes completely different. Aside from both being, like, mobile fighters, but Silent Blade in my other comic is very much like an acrobat. Well, she also has armor and blades, so. Like, one thing I want to do with this story is have just like well both of my like any of my freaking comics. What I want to do is have more like body variety in female characters. Also, what the hell happened with this clear ass here? Or this skirt part? The skirt part is weird. It's not. Yeah, I forgot to fix that part. There we go. And then also the Mercall, who are what the merchant guy is going to be, that are kind of like goblin troll descendants. They're actually matriarchal, and the women are bigger than the men. Like, the women are like units, and then the guys are like more goblin like. But they've got like these big, bulky, strong, like matriarch women leaders. Like, I'm happy with this. I gotta get rid of my guidelines though, right? Yeah, there we go. Okay, this is shitty sketchy layer. Delete that. Save like a paranoid lunatic. Okay, I mean this still looks kind of sketchy crappy. I'm gonna just clean up my lines. I want to color this too, but I don't know if I'll do that today or another time. Oh, that's the wrong freaking layer. See, I do that too. Whatever. I mean, it doesn't matter that much at this stage because it'll probably be flattened I probably will flatten it. Well, I don't really need all these layers right now. Oops. That is the wrong layer though. That's also the wrong layer. What the hell? Layer 4? Oh, it was layer 4. Sketchy, crappy lines. Sketchy, crappy lines. Sketchy, crappy lines. I mean, this is where I probably should just make a new layer and just redo my line work, but I'm lazy to do that right now. See, I can't figure out what layers most of this stuff is on. It's probably the point at which flattening it and doing another layer with cleaner line work makes sense. But yeah. Alright, I think I'm done with this piece for now. I had like a couple different concepts I wanted to work on, but now I have to remind myself what those were. I do want to work on environments a little bit, but actually I take that back. I'm gonna probably at the very least take a break soon, because I have actually not eaten dinner and it is 10 o'clock. I ate when I came home. I ate my lunch that I didn't eat when I came home at like 7. But now I'm very much hungry now. So I think what I might do is actually I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna end this stream and come back and do, like, if I do another stream, I'll come back and probably do Lotro. I'm probably done with drawing for tonight. Yeah, but either way, I gotta go eat dinner, so thank you for joining me. Thank you for the feedback. Feel free to follow me, and have a good night.